Welcome back to the Two Caring Gents podcast. Good to see you, my brother.
Always good to see you.
How's the day, man?
Wonderful.
Cool.
Never better.
We're together.
Yes.
Again.
Yes.
What could be better? So, got our beautiful studio here. We've got a great lean in to talk about the heck are we doing with this show other than just hanging out and drinking coffee?
There's no boundaries. There's no boundaries.
That's what we talked about? Yeah. That is what we
No boundaries.
That is what we talked about. But we do have to drink coffee, though, too.
We do.
We have to drink coffee.
Coffee is
only makes the world go round.
Oh,
at least our worlds go round. Yeah. And what nobody listening knows is how late it is right now. So we're drinking coffee at a time we probably shouldn't be.
I don't know how people drink decaf. I know it exists. I don't know how it exists. I don't know whose idea it was, but
I hope somebody writes in a DM. It just doesn't feel real.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even like real pop, the diet pop. Yeah. It just doesn't feel right.
Why the effort? Why the effort?
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully somebody DMs us. That is not the only reason why we're here, but it's important for you all to know how important coffee is that drives Nick and Chris. All right. So we really wanted to get into our vision around the show, around the podcast. We hope that to this point, those of you that got caught up, you caught the other episodes, you understand what we're about, our experiences in life, that we're not experts necessarily in any one field. I think we've run into the wall, fallen over, gotten back up, and that's what most of our experiences are from. But what's cool is we have a really, really great list of subject matter experts in many different areas of work, faith, sports, disability, recovery, health. And we cannot wait to bring those folks on the show and have them share all their amazing experiences and what they're working on. What's really humbling too is when you realize how much great work is happening out there in all these different areas. And, back to the top in our first episode of providing hope that, when people realize that there's these human beings like you and me that have the same problems you and me, reaching for these just amazing solutions to make the world a better place, we're going to bring those folks forward and they're going to tell their story.
With the same mentality that when you hear them speak and talk about what their life work is, they started it with no boundaries.
Yeah.
And the key, passion. And it wasn't by accident that they are where they are. Passion led them to what they're doing. And they are doing just incredible things. For example, one individual who designed the wheelchair that I am in, speaking with him, having the privilege to speak with him and just pick his brain and share how grateful I am that he is in this world and he did what he did. And for him to have taken 3 decades of experience to develop what he has. I messaged him the other day. I was with my 2 4-year-old twin boys, running errands, going to doctor's appointments, and I sent him a picture of all of us in my car. What that meant to me. That meant so much because before I couldn't do it because my chair was too big and goggy and it wasn't even safe because if we got in a car wreck that's flying metal, this one is so much more compact, small, doesn't have all the hinges. It's just a lot of thought. And he's disabled himself. And so he's taken experience of what it takes and what is needed because adaptive equipment for those in the disability community is not equipment, it is their limb that they depend on day in and day out. It can't be damaged. It can't not be functioning correctly. It cannot fit incorrectly. It is their being. It is what they need to thrive in the world. And that is so important. And unfortunately, there's so many in the disability community that haven't had their needs met in that way. And this individual has, and it's just incredible to have the privilege to talk to him. So those are some of the guests that we're going to be bringing onto the show and really excited to just hear their perspective and what drives them and what their thoughts were in developing what they've developed to help us all achieve wholeness.
Beautiful. And thanks for telling your story related to, your new mode of transportation that's really changed. I mean, we're able to have coffee together and we're able to be out in community and it's not a half a day, thing for you to be able to leave your home and be out with us. I don't know if the podcast, I don't know if we're here, if that doesn't happen. To bring this full circle, though, for anybody listening, what's really cool we're trying to build here is that you're going to hear about experts in these different areas, and you're going to end up listening to somebody that you either could benefit from access to that person or learning something new about what they're doing, and either access to that person give you hope knowing that there's somebody out there working on what you would love to have worked on because it's going to impact you or someone that you love that's near and dear to you. And via Nick and I, we're going to do our darndest to make sure we get you to those experts. And we mean that. And that we get you to somebody that you might not be able to see them in person, but you're going to be able to share your story with us and get to somebody that's going to help you, and or we're going to help you. All right. And as we look at our mission and vision, and our values, it's really important to understand that, again, the two of us, we're bringing as many experts as we can onto this show to hit as many different areas of innovation, creation, just new capabilities to help all of us and many of us that are struggling in different ways, right? And maybe not struggling, but just want to get better at whatever aspect of life.
Absolutely.
And go ahead.
Absolutely. It's not always about struggle, but it's also just, where do I go next? Where is the next road going to take me? Is that a road I'm even capable of traveling, or do I need to take a detour? It's those kind of journeys, right? Those moments that we hope we provide clarity and maybe a little bit of navigation in that. And hopefully in the process of either potentially reinventing yourself or continuing on your journey, we provide some insight to that.
Yeah. And thanks for the segue. As we were building this, thinking about this episode, as a listener, the way that we see maybe a stage of life that you're in right now, and the way that Nick and I cut it up is you're in a stage that you need hope. You're in a stage that you need navigation. You're in a stage that potentially you're starting to reinvent yourself, which is a beautiful stage. And then you're in a stage of growth. Growth can be messy. Growth without focus can detour a lot of, great plans. And then lastly, you're in a stage of prosper, right? So those 5 things, I'll say them quick again, that the stages that Nick and I see through our life cycle and in the chapters that we go through: hope, navigation, reinvention, growth, and prospering. Okay. And some of the experts that we're bringing on to expand about what is out there in the world that is, just some of these, like what people are working on every day.
Remarkable.
It's incredible. So adaptive equipment, the disabled community, disability, business leaders, kind of back to my passion around new business, folks that, either want to expand in the current job that they're in, maximizing that, or creating a new business. So really bringing out some business leaders that have hit that yes button, right? Medical innovation, clinical trials, and really any major disease out there.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a point, like, if you know, but you don't know if you don't know.
Yeah.
If someone isn't sharing their experience, which I hope you can gain from listening to us, by us sharing these experiences, these industry leaders, that it provides you the ability to navigate your journey or someone else that is close to you's journey, and helping them, guide them through their journey and really getting access to what they need to survive in this world. And that's really critical, because there's so much out there that isn't even known unless you type in the right keyword in Google, right?
Yeah.
Something like that really helps you, but it's very difficult, and sometimes there's not always answers. And we'll get into it, because there's pieces of my story where it was just someone sharing their experience that I grasped onto, not knowing that would be something I would need to depend on, but that would actually save my life. So we'll get into it later, but not right now. But trust me, there's a lot of those stories that are going to be coming down the pipeline.
And I want you to close this out with this story. I'm going to tee you up. But some of the other thought leaders that we're going to be bringing on in the faith and religious space, and sports. Sports can be so inspirational, and watching you become an athlete, right? You're a tennis player now. You're playing hockey, and then also in the nonprofit and the philanthropic. And I think you listen to a lot of shows, and you touched on, and you got to hit just the right keyword in the search bar to find the right thing. But the filters are so many times set up in a way that what I'm excited about is we're going to hand the mic to people that maybe aren't that well known, and they're doing amazing things, right? And they maybe just don't have the right funding or the right platform or whatever, but people they're not getting their due of what amazing things they're working on. Right. So as we're closing this episode out and getting people to understand that the experts that come on the show and why you want to listen to this show, and because you might meet somebody on this show, right, that has a solution, a cure, a way to self-improve, a way to make today, tomorrow, just better. That's what we're bringing in, right? And that's what we're bringing here. So what I want you to close this show out with is that the wheelchair that you're in, connect the dots. Because people need to understand that if you don't know the right people, and if you aren't able to navigate, you're not in this chair that I have seen. Like the day you got it, different person. Yeah. You got your mobility back. Yeah. So connect those dots about how an SME that we have on this show, if people tune in and reach out to us, that they too could have their life changed in such an amazing way. So go through that.
Absolutely. I mean, really, it really takes a lot. You have to put yourself out there. You can't be shy in life. Really have to be confident in yourself. But the one thing I have learned is to ask for help. Asking for help, because people out there want to help, but they don't know how to help. So asking for help. This chair, remarkable. Living with a disability, what the community mostly doesn't see or understand is that when you see someone with a disability, that takes them effort to be in front of you. It takes so much effort to be present in life and to be out in front of others. But the equipment that you use plays such a huge role on that capability and ease of being whole. Like, it's such a big part of your identity that when you find that right fit and that thing that identifies you, and the sad thing is a lot of times it's not even a reality because of cost, access. There's so much that plays into the equipment that you identify with, whether it's going to be accessible or not.
Yeah.
Because of all the different levels. So hopefully listening in on this is going to help you navigate that journey as well. And sports, yes. I never played tennis besides Wii tennis on the Nintendo. And I went and I came out of my comfort zone. The Wii.
The Wii's 20. That's amazing. I've heard the Wii in forever.
I know. But that was like...
You'd never held a real tennis racket,
nope. Never held a tennis racket besides, just messing up, hitting the tree in the yard when I was a kid. My parents' old tennis racket. But no, I've never...
Wii.
Yeah. And I remember going to the coach for the first time, showing up, because I was really pushed as like, hey, just show up. And I was like, the thing that put me there was encouragement from those within the disability community and me going, I want to be able to do something with my kids. And tennis, I think I could do. If I learn it and I understand the game, then I can do it. And I remember showing up and the coach was like, have you ever played tennis before? Nope. Never even held a racket. This is all new to me. And picking it up so quickly, so naturally.
Yeah.
I was like, well, maybe this is a good thing I never touched tennis as an able body, because as wheelchair tennis is like opening my eyes, and it's giving me so much more confidence. It's an ability to be physical. It's just an outlet for that, drive and negative energy that you may just have pent up it's an outlet, and I absolutely love it. And I've got to meet so many other amazing athletes that I just really have just opened my eyes. And yes, I've had a lot of experience, but trust me, there's so many people I see and that inspire me daily. Chris is one of them, but there's so many that inspire me that just keep me pushing that envelope.
Love it, man. Love it. Yeah, and watching you, when you sent me the video of you playing tennis, I mean, it's such a beautiful thing. After you sent me a picture of you playing hockey, but I think it's so important for anybody listening in on this that you never know in an episode who we're going to have on that might give you or might give someone that you love or someone that is in your space every day that might have a solution, might have a way to really impact their life in a positive way. So thanks for telling that story, because I think it's really driven home, me watching you really just change not only mobility, but also just your wanting and willingness to go be active, because your mode of transportation has improved so much.
Yes.
Right? So with that, I hope we've gotten you excited about the folks that we're going to have come on, and realizing that you don't just have to listen to Nick and Chris. So I know our wives are going to be happy about that too.
Yes.
Just like, I get plenty of that at home. Can we get some new content? So we've got an amazing roster of folks that just so excited to bring forward. And with that, hope everybody has an amazing week, or you've had an amazing week. And with that, we will see you on the next 2CG.